Classic Game Room is brought to you by Magnum Skywolf. CGR is supported by fans on Patreon. Thank you. Welcome to Classic Game Room. In this hand I have the ASCII Stick X Turbo for the MSX. In this hand I have the NES Advantage. What do these controllers have in common? A lot of things, apparently. They're both good, but this one plays on the MSX. So you've got an MSX computer. Alright, great video games ahead. The problem is the stock controllers aren't very good. And they're not easy or cheap to come by either, so you may want to step it up to the best that there is. This is the ASCII Stick X Turbo for MSX and MSX2 computers. If we look at the box, I think you can tell this thing is pretty extreme, and it's really good. Ever used the NES Advantage? It feels pretty much the same. In fact, I think that ASCII built the NES Advantage. Aside from some styling differences, the ASCII Stick X is pretty similar, and it's 1,000 times better than the standard MSX controllers I've seen out there, the cheap gamepads, which people are happy to sell on eBay for like 60 or 70 bucks. Don't do it. Not that this one is cheap, but don't pay 70 bucks for the crappy standard MSX controllers. This, on the other hand, while not inexpensive, is worth it, because you don't have many other good options. Personally, I like the textured black surface a lot. I'm pretty sure this uses the exact same buttons as the NES Advantage and the same joystick. Odds are, if you're listening to this show, you've probably used an Advantage. That's what this is. Collecting for the MSX is like collecting for the Neo Geo. If you're short on cash, don't even try. But if you are getting into MSX stuff, you're going to want a good controller. I recommend this thing. Here's a look at the underside. Nothing fancy, but it does have nice rubber feet, and it's a heavy little controller too. In fact, I'd say it's about the same weight as the Advantage. This is comfortable to use while sitting in your lap, or you can place it on the table and play games there. Well, it looks like the same adapter would allow you to use the Sega Genesis or Master System controllers. Nope. Basically, you're locked into an MSX controller when you're playing MSX. Now, over the years I've reviewed numerous things from ASCII. They do good work. Here's a look at the ASCII Stick 2 Turbo for the Famicom, which is a bit larger than the ASCII Stick X for the MSX. It also feels differently. I'll review that separately, but the ASCII Stick X is definitely the way to go for MSX. If you're on the fence about what controller to get this, if you can find it. I don't think they show up on eBay that often. When it does, get it. And of course, I've got a Classic Game Room. Shout out and thank you going to Ahmed from Springfield Gardens, New York. Again, thank you for hooking the show up with some incredibly sweet MSX stuff. As you can be sure that when you're watching Classic Game Room MSX reviews, and there'll be a lot of them this year, that I'm using the ASCII Stick X. Because it's the only controller I have. And I'm very fortunate because it's the one that you want to have. Just be forewarned though, if you invite a friend over for some two-player games on MSX, and one of the controllers is this thing, because friends don't let friends use the better controller. Screw them. Give them the crappy gamepad or go home. Yeah, nobody puts Xarian in a corner. New shirts and glassware now at ClassicGameRoom.com. Don't miss Magnum Skywolf, also on Patreon. Welcome to the club. It's the Lord Carnage Club, where I celebrate these backers on Patreon by shouting their name in a volcano. Introducing Michael Fernandez. Oh yeah! Michael Nelson. Lord Carnage approves. Jim Moriarty. Sergio Matthias, Hergert, Jason from Kamloops, British Columbia. Busy! Signal! Alciver! Sean Zoltek. I'm just kidding again! Sean Zoltek! Stephen Chucknick from New Jersey! Landon Ellerby! He's the administrator of these credits. Philip Strabenmuller of Vienna, Austria! Woo! Jack Stavros from Australia! Home of Mad Max. Ohad Kane! Cue the thunder. Jeff, Captain Dauntless, Breyer, Rick DeBarros. Out of sight. Will. Kid Shuriken Fatality. Ship. Sink bail. That was too evil, wasn't it? Let's try that again. Ship. Sink bail. See you next time on Classic Game Room. Thanks for watching.